I think to say that we're in control would be a substantial understatement. We have equal branches of government in this country. The judiciary is not supreme. There's no such thing as judicial supremacy. What the judges did, both at the 9th and at the district level, was to take power for themselves that belonged squarely in the hands of the President of the United States.
Stephen, the 3 judges say you're flat wrong.
No, the 3 judges made a broad, overreaching statement. This is an ideological disagreement between those who believe we should have borders and should have controls, and those who believe there should be no borders and no controls. This is a judicial usurpation of power. The end result of this, though, is that our opponents, the media, and the whole world will soon see, as we begin to take further actions, that the powers of the president to protect our country are very substantial and will not be questioned. And the bottom line is the president's powers in this area represent the apex of executive authority. We will have unquestioned military strength beyond anything anybody can imagine. We have a president who has done more in 3 weeks than most presidents have done in an entire administration. Saying that we stand with our ally, having the 2 men appear on camera worldwide to all of planet Earth, was a statement that will be understood very well by North Korea. I'm not going to make a comment on that. I don't have any information on it. I do want to say that Sean Spicer, as always, is 100% correct, and that what he said is true and important, and I agree with it.
So then you are making a comment on it?
I'm not going to make any new comment. It is a fact, and you will not deny it, that there are massive numbers of non-citizens in this country who are registered to vote. That is a scandal. We should stop the presses. That's the story we should be talking about, and I'm prepared to go on any show, anywhere, anytime, and repeat it and say the President of the United States is correct 100%.
That's a White House advisor, right?
It's not even funny. You can't even...
It was so much worse.
It's much
than I ever
worse.
thought.
It's much worse.
Wow.
100% correct.
100% correct. It is a fact, and you will not deny it, a fact that was actually a lie. Right. And then again, he learned this, I guess, in autocracy for young political.
Okay, you told me not to say it.
Hold on. When he said
what
did he say about the power?
Powers of the president are very substantial.
And they shall not be questioned.
They will not be questioned.
They will not.
This guy.
Be questioned. That is no. They
Oh
are.
my God.
They are questioned, my young little
lad
Miller. They will be questioned by the court. It's called judicial review. Alexander Hamilton and James Madison wrote about it in the Federalist Papers. It was enshrined in Madison's Constitution. Andrew Jackson, you go into your president's office, you know that one, and you look on the walls, and there are all these pictures of Andrew Jackson and books of Andrew. He talked about judicial independence. He talked about the importance of the judiciary. You really need to go back and read the Constitution. And seriously, the White House has got to stop embarrassing themselves by putting this guy out. You got tons of phone calls.
Worst?
I had people working me. Oh, wasn't Miller great? No, he was that is the worst performance of anybody. That made Susan Rice the Sunday after Benghazi look smooth. I mean, that was horrendous and an embarrassment. And when you have somebody saying it is a fact and you will not deny it, and then saying the president will not be questioned.
Wow.
Actually,
well, aren't we king?
If you actually read it, just to be clear about it, because it's in some ways worse, because what he says is the end result, this is the quote, the end result of this, meaning the challenge to the immigration order, though, is that our opponents, the media, and the whole world will soon see, as we begin to take further actions, that the powers of the president to protect our country are very substantial and will not be questioned, which is an assertion beyond the president not being questioned.
I told you it was
of nearly unlimited executive
scary.
branch authority to do whatever it wants.
Well, that is the talk of a dictator, not somebody who is president of the United States. And I would hope the president of the United States would put him in his give him the calls you got.
It seems they're taking him seriously.
Fill up his lunchbox. put him in the corner, put him at his desk, and have him read the United States Constitution, have him read the Federalist Papers, have him read the words of our founding fathers, have him read the words of Andrew Jackson when it comes
Joe, they don't want him to. They like him.
Yet he's being
He has
rewarded.
the entire
No, he can't be rewarded
inner
for this.
cadre from the top down wrapped around his finger. They love him. Tell the truth.
Let me just,
they love this guy.
Let me just say this. You know, again, I will say it. We told everybody when it was coming that Donald Trump is going to win the Republican nomination. We said it early. Let me tell you something. This sort of talking, this sort of thinking, I'm just telling you right now. Oh, let me look at the date here. I'm just telling you right now, Monday, February 13th, 2017. If that sort of thinking were enacted into policy, we would have impeachment proceedings within the next 6 months. Donald Trump would be impeached if they did not adhere to and by the way, if they didn't adhere to what the courts were saying. And by the way, the most bizarre thing about this is, and maybe he's just stupid, maybe he's just dumb, maybe he's ignorant, and maybe I shouldn't be so tough on him. Any fool in their first day of law school knows. And I knew the second I heard the Ninth Circuit had, Ninth Circuit, they're gonna overturn this, or they'll put a stay on it, and then it'll get to the Supreme Court, and they'll turn it around. They've got the Supreme Court. They're going to get their 5th vote. They're going to fill up hundreds of judicial vacancies over the next couple of years. So he is picking a fight and sounding like an autocrat.
And they love that.
When he doesn't have to. They are creating, right? They are creating something. So he can go out and say that. What are they testing? Are they testing us to see if we're going to sit back like sheep and say nothing?
It'll make Judge
Wait, I want to read
It'll make
it
Judge
one more
Gorsuch
time.
have to denounce him also during the confirmation hearing, because he will be asked about the independence again, and these comments will be put front and center.
Let's split this really quickly, David Ignatius. The president does have substantial powers when it comes to the borders and when it comes also to securing this country. I've written about it. I wrote that the Ninth Circuit decision was wrong. I believe it was wrongly decided. That said, we have these debates. But when they say, David, that the president has substantial power and it will not be questioned, it will not be questioned. Please, tell me, what goes through your mind when you hear that?
It sounds like another country, not the United States. The way in which judges have been singled out, one of the things that Stephen Miller said was talking about the unelected judges thinking they can run things. Donald Trump's own comment about the so-called judge, referring to a judge in Washington who made the initial district court ruling. These are deeply offensive to our system, and I should note they're deeply offensive to judges. Judges do not like being singled out in this way and having their authority challenged. The issue here is judicial review. It is central to our system of government. You were absolutely right in that Stephen Miller doesn't seem to get that, but we're a long way, I think, from courts and their role